Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're doing more of our Posthomerica artwork. And I did a little bit in the interim. I put in a couple of details for Penthesilea here. So we're gonna keep going with that. We have much more reasonable lengths. You can see how overlong her arms were now that these are our new ones with actual correct anatomy. At the time, I was like, I don't know what I was doing with this arm was so long. So now we're just gonna keep going, adding little details. I got a couple of layers going here. What do we got? Okay, this is just like a general, her coat thing or whatever. It's kind of like at this scale, it's very hard to get details in because it's so small. Great. Yeah, because like these little squares, if you zoom out, it's so insignificant in the whole picture. So it's kind of like, we want to make sure that we're really paying attention to that kind of stuff. And not, it's very tempting to be like, oh, like I want to, make my brush smaller so that I can fit in more details, but that's really only working against us because we want to keep it consistent throughout. Okay, so let's turn our guides back on and we will put her leg in. Now this is, I think at the time we were trying to match the proportions of Achilles, where he has this like big butt bulge, oversized, comical almost, butt bulge in the black style artwork. But since making this picture, I kind of learned that they wouldn't necessarily do that in the red figure style. So we're gonna play down that. And it's another one of the benefits of like really researching, not just looking at a lot of Greek art, but also learning about like how it was made, the context of when it was made. There's a lot of factors that I would have never expected to be important or used or whatever that I learned about by reading books and things about the subject. So that's been really rewarding for me. And it's helping us a lot with the art in ways that we didn't expect or wouldn't have expected. So that's what we got for her anatomy. Now let's go into here and we'll sort of, I guess actually let's probably separate this layer now that I'm looking at it, because we're going to eventually be removing parts of it. Of course, as always, you can set your watch to it. I have a runny nose because I am doing one of these episodes. Do not be alarmed, ladies and gents. Do not adjust your set. So I don't think we're gonna, in our picture here, we had it where you can actually see the figure underneath. I don't think we're gonna stick with that concept. We'll see. So this is a really cool looking sort of pattern thing. Let's do something with I guess if we try to and this would be like lower like that. We basically want to set where these lines are, and then you'll see how that comes into play here. Okay, that's going to help define the form of the leg. When it's time to put the leg in. Yeah, so the thing about this is we want to, these lines aren't really coming out uniform looking. So let's try a different technique for this. So we'll keep that. We'll actually do just a line. For the thing here. I think we'll just cut pieces from it. Let's take a look at our riff again. Yeah, that works. So we're gonna, I think we should also make this its own, no, not this, but we'll make the next part its own layer. Okay, so we're gonna take this. Man, it's like every time I do these episodes, my nose is running. It's crazy. I swear, I'm not like I don't have like a constantly runny nose in general. I mean, you guys know, because when I do my video game streams, like, it's not very often you hear me with a runny nose, like sniffling, but I think it's just a general thing of like tilting your head down for an extended length of time makes you more likely to have a runny nose, maybe? I don't know what it is. So we're gonna do this as if, you know, as if that's just the design. And then we'll cut out sections of it later. And I don't think this concept we had originally really makes sense, so we're gonna change it. Make it something like that. Okay. Yeah, like that. Ow. Oh, hold on, ladies and gents. Stand by. Okay, all should be well. Yeah, I'm just gonna jam a thing of tissue up my nose because I'm sick of the sniffling. Okay, so that looks cool already. But now what we're gonna do is we want to create these lines separate of what the other part has. So are these on their own layer or something? What's going on here? What is this? Oh, that's the guide layer, right? We don't need that anymore. Let's actually make this one also a guide layer just so we So one thing we did take into account is that this section is going to be bunched up. So actually let's put that detail into this. Like that, because you can see that this part is longer than this, and that's just going to happen because this is all bunchy. So we'll do something like that. And our line work is going to have to reflect that. So let's first do the lines where it would actually be kind of normal. Okay, so now we're going to turn off the guide layer, turn this down. And what we want to do is, let's just take another look at what we had in the guide layer. Yeah, so we want to create these thin, like, strips. Okay. Good. Okay. It doesn't matter if we go outside the lines. We actually want to go a little bit outside the lines because it's going to extend past the line that we drew. Okay. Yeah, this pattern is like, it's a good thing we kind of mapped it out because it's a very complicated series of things we're gonna have to do, so I'm glad we're coming at it from like a particular approach like this. So now we have the general concept. we want to do a second set of lines. I don't know how we're going to do this and still keep track of what's what, but let's give it a shot. So this we don't need anymore. Now this, essentially we're going to create one set of lines here, and you'll see why in a minute. So one there, how would this work? I think it would be above, so let's do this. And one up here. Maybe a little bit closer for these ones. Yeah. This looks bad right now, but you're going to see what I'm going to do here. Okay, so the sort of like very organized version of our design is in. Now, we are going to cut away at the various shapes in order to make it into the general piece that we want. And that's going to happen on the next one, ladies and gents. Thank you for joining. The channel is called The Voice of Nick. If you want to see more, don't forget to hit the follow button. And I'll see you